I'm Jay Jackson. Coming up, I'll show you the 2 things I do every day that led to me losing 80 pounds in less than 9 months. Welcome to episode 18 of the ChoZen FroZen.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce.
Hey there friends, welcome to the ChoZen FroZen episode 18. Now I know you're serious about weight loss, that's why you're here. So please hit the subscribe button, also hit the like, and then please share this with your friends. We plan to change the way the world eats, one person at a time, one meal at a time. Now if you've seen our videos before, you know I break this down into 3 different segments. The first segment is what I call the mathematics of weight loss. That's where I show you some very specific numbers of how I lost so much weight. And then we talk about the practice of weight loss, and that's where I'm going to show you how to get into a rhythm when it comes to losing weight. And finally, we talk about the ChoZen. Now, if you've seen these videos before, you know you can skip past the first and second segment. Just hover your cursor over that red timeline here on YouTube, and then you'll see a graphic pop up that says the ChoZen. You can just press right there and just go to the final section, which I call the ChoZen. And that's where I talk with the more advanced ChoZen FroZen subscribers, people who have lost weight, they know how to do it, and I give them the recommended frozen food of the day. Now, a couple of things I just want to do. We'll give a shout out real quick to Men's Health Magazine, giving us a great interview that's appearing online. Also want to give a shout out to Miss Kathy Huck. She got on the ChoZen FroZen program about a month ago from the time of this taping, and she has lost a lot of weight, but more importantly, she's transforming her body. This is a 63-year-old woman who looks about 43 right now, so congratulations, Kathy. Now, first thing you want to do is download the MyFitnessPal app. That way you can track the calories that you're going to be eating every day. Also, you want to Google 300-calorie meals, and that will give you an idea of all of the different 300-calorie meals you're going to be dealing with, because that is one of the pillars, one of the primary pillars of the ChoZen FroZen. What we do here basically is this when it comes to the mathematics of weight loss. 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 2,000 calories. Generally, it's going to be between 1,500 to 2,000 calories. Again, 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 2,000 calories. And that's how I lost the weight. And let me tell you the 2 main reasons why these numbers work. Number 1, if you're eating a 300-ish calorie meal every 3 hours, you are not going to be hungry. A 300-calorie meal will more than last and keep you full for more than 3 hours. I am rarely hungry when we're doing the ChoZen FroZen program, unless I am going longer than 3 hours for whatever reason. I might be working, I can't get to a meal, but I am rarely hungry. And that leads to the number 2 and critical thing about the mathematics of weight loss. And what this boils down to is this: your fat burner is inside of you, and it is a machine that is designed to eat fat. But that machine needs fuel. And if you give it too much fuel, it's going to bog down. If you give it too little fuel, it's going to stall. The proper amount of fuel for your fat eating machine is 300-ish calories every 3 hours. And if you give it 300-ish calories every 3 hours, you are going to rejuvenate it every 3 hours, keep it running at its optimal speed, optimal rate, where it will continue to burn fat all day long, and you will see the weight just fall off. I mean, every time I look at these pictures of myself before I started the ChoZen FroZen, I couldn't believe it. This is October 2018, weighing over 310 pounds, completely out of shape, living a great life. Understand, I'm, Hollywood guy on TV shows and movies, going around the country and being seen, being known, autographed, taking selfies and that sort of thing. But my blood pressure was out of control and really was one step away from the grave, and came up with these numbers, 300-ish calories every 3 hours. Now, if you want some science on this, I recommend that you get the books made by this fitness guru. His name is Jorge Cruz, and he came up with the 3-hour diet in 2005. It's a little bit different from my plan, but it is pretty much the basics of what I'm talking about too, as far as keeping your fat burner machine going and never getting hungry because you're eating these 300-ish calories every 3 hours, up every day, up to 2,000 calories. And that is the mathematics of weight loss. And now for the second pillar of the ChoZen FroZen, the practice of weight loss. What is practice? Practice is something you do every day, all the time, until you get it right. Well, that's the same concept with weight loss. Remember, we're dealing with 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day. And that gives us a limited time when it comes to the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep. We're eating in 3-hour intervals. So the second and important thing when it comes to the ChoZen FroZen is understanding that you eat at a certain time of day. Let's say that your first meal is 8 o'clock. Well, if your first meal meal is 8 o'clock, then you know that you're going to be eating every 3 hours. So the next meal is 11 o'clock. After that, it's 2 o'clock. After that, it's 5 o'clock. After that, it's 8 o'clock again. And that's when you pretty much stop eating, where you're going to be around 1,600 calories. Because remember, this is 300-ish calories. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Generally between 400 and 200 calories. But 300 is a nice average number. Okay, so keep that in mind. The times of day in which you eat will be very important. I generally wake up and eat my first meal at 8 o'clock. So again, it's 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock. Some people wake up a little later in the day at 9 o'clock. Well, then you have another 3-hour intervals from 9 o'clock. So it's 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and all of these different time slots, you're going to be eating 300-ish calorie meals, getting you up to about 1,600 calories by the end of the day, 1,700 calories, but going no higher than 2,000. So you still have some room to eat some other foods that won't, get up to 2,000 calories. But, snacks and that sort of thing will be very helpful, such as fruit, tangerines, apples, plums, that sort of thing will be very helpful because these aren't high calorie foods, but they will fill you up. Let's say you start at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, same thing. The next meal is going to be at 10 o'clock. After that, it's going to be at 1 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock. So you're eating 300-ish calories every 3 hours after your first meal all day long. And again, that is keeping that fat burner going because it is getting refueled every time you eat. And that's 3 hours, and that is eating fat as you eat. So that's the incredible thing about the ChoZen FroZen. That's how I've been able to lose so much weight, making this transformation of my body. And people just cannot believe it when they see it. And they can't believe it when I tell them it's as simple as it is. It's eating 300-ish calories every 3 hours at particular time slots. Again, mine, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. For you 9 o'clock eaters, it's going to be 9 o'clock, and then 12 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And for you 7 o'clock eaters, it's going to be 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then finally 7 o'clock. And if you stay with those numbers as far as 300-ish calories and stay in those time slots, you will lose weight. And that is the practice of weight loss.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce.
And finally, welcome to the ChoZen. This is where I'm talking to the more advanced ChoZen FroZen subscribers. People have been doing this for a while. They're seeing the weight come off. Their clothes don't fit anymore. They're getting lots of compliments. And they know that this is how they are going to live their lives for the rest of their life, where they are going to be eating 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 2,000 calories, and understanding their time slots, whether it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, and they know that the weight will come off. Now, a couple of important tips. Once again, you want to Google 300-ish calorie meals. That way you can find out the lots of different 300-ish calorie meals that are out there. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something, and you can depend on it. And also another thing that you want to do is understand, and this is the most important thing probably about the ChoZen FroZen, there are 0 food restrictions when it comes to this eating plan. You can eat absolutely anything you want, and that is important because people who struggle with weight are struggling primarily with cravings and grazing. We eat all the time, and then we have these powerful cravings to eat food that is not good when it comes to calories and then weight gain. Well, if you restrict that, you're going to have some explosive times, with some of these restrictive type diets such as keto or South Beach or Atkins, where you can't eat certain things like carbs. Well, the problem is that doesn't last very long. Now, I'm happy for the people who are successful, and there are people successful on these keto type diets, and I hope they, stay on it. That's, we're not trying to knock these diet plans, but they are restrictive plans, and I've been on those types of plans before, including Atkins and keto, and for people like me, it just didn't work because, you know what, I got to have the breads, I got to have the cheesecakes, I'm sorry, I got to have these foods that I just love, and when the craving hit, I got to have it. Well, you can have that on the ChoZen FroZen. There are, again, 0 food restrictions. Eat your pizzas, eat your hamburgers, eat your burritos, eat whatever you want. Eat your vegan food, eat your vegetarian food, drink wine, whatever you want. But remember to keep it to 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day in those time slots. Now, while those foods are good and you can have them, there are better options. Of course, you can make your own food. You can go get, like, say, a breast of chicken and some spinach, put that in a skillet and then fry it up, and you got about a 300-calorie meal, or 4-ounce piece of steak and the same thing, same with pork chop. You can make your own meals. The only problem with that is you're going to be eating a lot of food on the ChoZen FroZen, at least 5 times a day, and that can get very tedious. tedious, it's a lot of work, and it can get expensive. What I found to be the best option, the frozen foods. And I got to tell you, the modern frozen food, these aren't the days of Hungry Man or Hungry Jack or whatever it was, where they were loaded with preservatives and sodium. These are some really technologically advanced, scientifically advanced food products, a lot of these frozen foods. In fact, every one that I show you here on the ChoZen Frozen. Now, as you know, we always have a recommended frozen food, and today it's going to be this Frontera Barbacoa Taco Bowl. Again, it's Frontera Barbacoa Taco Bowl, braised beef and black beans, 3-chile barbacoa sauce, red peppers, and grain blend. Now, let's get right to it. The basics, of course, we pop it in the microwave, do exactly what the instructions say. In this case, you mic it on high for 3 minutes. You replace the film, and you pull it off, and then you stir it up. You place it back in the mic for 2.5 minutes. So, you know, you get done with that process. And then what I do, of course, is that I have a plate covered with the baby spinach as a bed, and I like to pour the food right on top of that. And what that does is melts down the baby spinach to where it's no longer kind of a green leaf. It's more of an herb that's mixed in with the food, and it adds to the texture, it adds to the flavor. But most importantly, it is that roughage and nutrients that baby spinach can provide. Now, as you know, what we also do here is that when we come to seasoning these foods, we look at the box and we look at the food and we season based on color, not necessarily on the flavor. We based on color. We match the color of the different foods in the meal, and then we go to our spice rack and find colors that are matching the color of the food. For instance, let's look at the red peppers. You see those red peppers jump out there? Well, I use red cayenne sauce, and you know, that's kind of the thing that I love to use. Looking at that barbacoa sauce, it's kind of a reddish, brownish. I'm going to go with tahini here for that, and that's also a great flavor. And for the green spinach and also for some green spices in there, we're going to go with the cilantro. For the white rice and for the onions, we're going to go with the some gourmet chili salt. This is actually a pretty good salt here. And then finally, for the black beans that you see in there, we're going to go with some black cracked pepper. And this one is not bad on the calories. It says 320 on the box, but I believe it's 280. I'm not sure. I have to check on that. But you can check on that in the MyFitnessPal app. That's why that app is important, because you can just punch the name of the food in or go by the barcode that it has a reader on your phone, and then it will automatically put the calories in. So let's review these seasonings and spices and herbs one more time. For our reddish orange color, we're going to go with cayenne, and that's the color for the red peppers. For the sauce, we're going to go with tahini. That's more of a reddish orange color as well. For the greens, we're going to go with cilantro. For the white, we're going to go with the gourmet grinds, chili and garlic sea salt. And then finally, for the black beans, we're going to go with the cracked black pepper. And that is a 280 to 300 calorie meal. We got to make sure you check that out for yourself to see exactly what the calorie count is. Now, in review, again, 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 2,000 calories. Generally going to be between 1,500 to 2,000 calories. Remember that, every day, every 3 hours. And then those 3 hours you have to have on a specific time slot. If you're starting at 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You're going to get these times down into your mind, where it's going to be burned into your mind, where you can start these eating these foods at these specific times. So thank you once again for tuning into the ChoZen Frozen. This is episode 18. I'm Jay Jackson. Bon appetit.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce. Come on, bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce for me. I like the way it snap back. Can I put it on Snapchat? Make it go clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna need a nap, nap. Got the bed squeaking. Baby girl, you freaking. No need for speaking. Look back, get a peeking.